Hey guys, it's Tay. Welcome to my Lucy worklog video. I did have video in this that got corrupted. I don't know how that happened. Thanks, computer. I need a new editing program kind of thing. So I'm just gonna jump right into it and I'll do my best to explain through those parts. Right here I'm just patterning out the gold bracer that goes around her wrist, like over the sleeve, and I'm gonna cut that out of EVA foam. I don't know the millimeter, it's just the foam that you get from like Home Depot, that like the mats that'll go in like kids' play areas and stuff like that, and I think that's hilarious, by the way. At this point, I realized I made an oopsie. I screwed up and realized I didn't make my pattern big enough at my wrist, or really at the top, because it didn't really connect. But I had to redo the pattern. I just added a little bit to each side just so it could fold around and actually, you know, connect and become a bracer eventually. So then I had to redo that and then traced it again and cut that one out, but I had to do two of those, so I technically wasted a piece of foam, so that's always fun. So now I'm just going to take my heat gun and I'm going to warm up my foam and shape it into a bracer. Please do this outside. Fumes. Also, I set off my smoke alarm before. It's just not fun. Please contact cement outside too, because fumes from the contact cement are absolutely insane. So I'm just kind of rolling it up and, you know, trying to get it rounded out a little bit to keep shape. And then I took my contact cement and I added a coat to like each side of where they would be connecting. And then you're going to want to give that maybe 5-10 minutes depending on how much glue you put on for it to get tacky, because it won't stick unless it's like tacky. Because otherwise it's just like liquidy and it's just everything's just going to slide everywhere and it's going to be frustrating and not at all what you are trying to do. Lost footage of gluing on the strips at the top and the bottom. I just did those out of 2mm craft foam and kind of just cut rectangles and formed them to the top and the bottom of the bracer. And then now I am Mod Podging it because I don't want the... First of all, I don't want the paint to eat the foam, and I also don't want it to look like a sponge when it gets finished. So that, I'm just gonna add a coat of Mod Podge, and then I plasti dipped it, which I also lost the footage of, so that's fun. And it just goes on kind of like spray paint, and it'll give it like a harder outside coat texture, and then I just spray painted that boy, and that's pretty self-explanatory. This is where I thought I was going to be able to save time and skip a step. That didn't happen. I thought I was going to be able to just kind of measure out my wrist and the top of my arm and just cut it out of the fabric, but I eventually had to pattern that boy out because that was just not happening for me. Fold up both of the outside edges first because I felt like it was gonna be a little easier to hem it at first than it was. So I just kind of sewed the hem into them before I rolled them up to make the actual sleeve. Because after I sewed the hem is when I put right sides together and sewed up the side of it so to form the arm sleeve. I totally lost footage of sculpting the belt buckle, unfortunately, but I just did it out of polymer clay. I made a circle and then did a little tube for the outside edge and then a tube to form the Taurus symbol in the middle. And after it got done baking and curing, I just painted it gold. I cut out a triangle piece of the same spandex fabric I used for the arm sleeves and hand stitched that onto a white bikini top I already had. Small strips of white fabric to make the fringe at the bottom of the bikini top. These will get hand stitched into place as well. Keep me hand stitching in bed because I did not feel like getting up. RIP. I'm patterning out the bag on Lucy's hip. I'm honestly not very proud of how this turned out in the end, but I'm probably going to be remaking it anyway. I'm going to take my pattern and pin it onto my fabric. I used kind of like a pebbled leather-ish fabric for this. It was kind of hard to work with, so that kind of sucked, but I think the texture of the bag turned out pretty cool, I think. I lost the footage of assembling the actual base of the bag, so what I did is I made like a bag base out of the pebbled fabric and then made a separate bag base out of some brown felt that I was going to line it with, and then I put them inside each other, right sides together, and sewed around the top to make the inside of the bag, and then I attached the little flap over it like the same exact way. I didn't line that one, but I made the two pieces, sewed them right sides together, and then attached it toward the back of the bag where it would hang over the edge. I know I'm really bad at explaining that. Here I'm making the fringe that kind of goes on the bag, that it'll like hang off. It didn't really hang off like I wanted it to, but it was too thick of a fabric. And I kind of just hot glued them together because I couldn't make a tube because the fabric was way too stiff. I wasn't really able to make a tube for the strap either, but that I kind of just put wrong sides together and just did like a straight stitch down the side, and it seemed to work just fine. Sewing the little tube that the strap will go through to attach the bag to the waistband hip thingy. I definitely could have made this easier on myself if I had machine sewed it to the piece before I actually lined it and put it together, but I apparently can't think that far ahead, so here I am just hand stitching it, tearing my finger apart with this super thick fabric. But hey, it worked anyway. Happy with how this costume turned out. There are definitely things I can improve on, just like everything I do, because I'm a disaster. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching if you're still here. And I'll see you whenever I upload again, because I have an inconsistent schedule. Thanks for watching. See you later!